Hi guys, thanks for watching out there. I'm sorry I haven't been here a couple of days. The internet is all over the place at the moment, a little bit of weather and it's knackered. But let's look at another kind of weather, the astro weather, the astrology of the day, the astrology of the week. I'm going to look forward a bit today as well, just in case I can't get on every morning. So this is Monday what is it? Oh, can't do anything with these. This is Monday the 23rd of April 2018. There we go, I finally got it. You'd think I'd know what day it was, wouldn't you? Yesterday the moon entered Leo, so we begin with the moon in Leo, and as we go through the week we also have a Virgo moon, and eventually the moon enters Libra by Friday. But that's later on in the week. It's a most interesting time. We actually have several planetary retrogrades going on today. Pluto goes retrograde today in Capricorn and stays retrograde until the 30th of September. We also had Saturn go retrograde also in Capricorn on the 17th of April, and that goes on till the 6th of September. So April to September, those retrogrades are in full effect. Jupiter is also retrograde in Scorpio, been that way since the 8th of March, but that ends on the 10th of July. Now those retrogrades are interesting things. Planets behave different ways in retrogrades. We just had Mercury retrograde not long before. That made a big difference to a lot of our plans and a lot of our lives, and the tail end of that is actually still going on and goes on until the 5th of May, which isn't long now at all, but it's post-shadow phase now. It isn't the actual Mercury retrograde time, it's the post-shadow when we start learning the lessons. Now Saturn retrograde in Capricorn has a lot to do, well, Saturn generally has a lot to do with fears and subconscious fears and our attempts to understand them. When Saturn is retrograde in Capricorn, it can seem very stern. People can seem very stern, or life can just seem to be driving us in very strict circumstances. Maybe it doesn't seem like the way we want to go. That is food for thought. In a lot of ways, it's always good to go with the flow, but make sure the flow is taking you where you want to go. Now the moon hit 50% full yesterday. That would have been 14:45 Pacific, 17:45 Eastern and 22:45 quarter to 11 here in UK last night. 50% moon, she's on her way up, coming up to full. We're now into the second quarter where the energy builds up, and wasn't she visible in the sky last night? Well, I hope she was with you, but we didn't seem to have many clouds here in Wales, UK, and the sky was lit up nice and blue. You could feel that strength, that energy coming back in again, which is a wonderful thing. Now then, let me see. 13 minutes past 5 this afternoon, or evening even, in Pacific time, 20:13 Eastern and 1:13 in the morning, Tuesday morning tomorrow, Mars is going to sextile Jupiter. So you've got the whole God of War thing going on, involved with this massive gas giant that promises more than it can deliver. Abundance and tolerance, I would say, are the two key things about Jupiter. Social insight, knowledge, it can be good between people as well, or it can be interesting between people, shall we put it that way. And with Jupiter being retrograde actually at the moment as well, that is going to be most interesting. But retrogrades can give you what you don't expect, so don't worry too much about those big names there. Venus is going to sextile Chiron 20:41 UK time, that's 12:41 Pacific, 15:41 Eastern. Chiron, the wounded healer, and Venus, the feminine energy really, the love of life, if you will, the love of each other, the love of life as well, and love generally speaking, very much in the higher chakras, coming together with that wounded healer aspect of Chiron. It's all I can really say is it's going to be interesting because it affects us all differently. But look for some help coming into anything you feel has been sort of broken inside you because of good that you've tried to do or that you have done. Sometimes we do the right thing and it kind of helps and everyone's happy, apart from someone who doesn't like it and comes back and gives us stick. Just don't accept it. That's the way it goes sometimes. Nothing too much to worry about. On Wednesday, Mercury is going to square Saturn and Mars is going to conjunct Pluto. On Thursday, the moon we have a Libra moon, and the influence changes again. Because under the Leo moon that we've got at the minute, it's quite outgoing. It's a bit me, but it can be in quite a good way. If you've got something you want to persuade people about, if you've got a plan you want to push forward, it's not a bad time to get out there, kind of let yourself be exposed, not in an illegal way. Let yourself and your plans be exposed to the world in which they're going to grow, because it's like giving birth to something. These plans, these ideas, they're going to grow, and good ideas have a shelf life. So Leo, especially with the moon just over half full, is a real good launching time to get those things done before they go out of date. Okay, so that's all the way through to Thursday. On Friday, the moon actually doesn't enter Libra until 2:12 a.m. I don't know why I got that. It's because I'm trying to write down the international times and I'm struggling with those, folks. I've got to admit it. I'm going to have to just change that a little bit, but there we go. Mercury is also going to trine the North Node on Friday. Now that is a very interesting one, because it is actually the post-shadow to Mercury retrograde still on Friday the 27th, and it's worth thinking about, because the North Node is a lot to do, well, it's everything really to do with our plans, our intentions to go forward. It's really looking ahead. The South Node is about when we look back. The North Node is about when we're going somewhere. And even if that makes you feel, things come up around that, particularly with the Mercury influence, that make you feel you're never going to get anywhere, well, just don't believe the hype. Don't believe your own hype on that one, because that's something that's put into us by the way the world is. I never watch the news because I always feel dreadful after watching the news. And, that's the kind of thing. Just don't believe that things are going to be bad. Things can actually go very, very well, especially with Mercury retrograde post-shadow, because the lessons we learned in the retrograde ease off a bit because we start to understand things. It can be a very gentle influence, actually, Mercury retrograde post-shadow. So that seems to me a good thing. That's coming up on Friday the 27th. Okay, well, that is sort of lengthy-ish one this morning. Better take a quick look at spaceweather.com, actually, and also say that under a Leo moon, it is a fruit day in the biodynamic cycle. Things can be a bit fruity, to say the least. Spaceweather.com, down here on my tablet somewhere. Solar wind speed 443.7 kilometers a second. Proton density 6.9 protons a cubic centimeter. That tends to change daily, but that's what I'm saying for Monday. Hopefully, I'll be back every day and this won't be a problem. But you just never know with the internet at the moment. There are 2 sunspots on the face of the sun, number 2706 and number 2707. They are small. It says they don't really pose any threat of producing strong magnetic flares. They've said that before. I say that they've said that before a lot when I look at spaceweather.com. The coronal hole has moved up a bit from the equator of the sun, so it's less intense, but there is solar wind still coming from it. We're looking at being grazed by that around April the 25th or 26th, so later on in this week. But I hope it won't be much later on in this week before I see you again, guys. I'm going to really try and do this every morning, and what I always do. And I'll just, basically I'll be here as much as I can be. I think we're having some strange weather at the moment, and I think that's causing the connection to be a bit worse than usual, and it's not brilliant at the best of times. Anyway, with that, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a brilliant Monday, friends. Bye-bye.